ॐ अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। ॐ नमो भगवते श्री रामकृष्ण। Welcome to the 59th week of the readings and reflections on the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is the book originally written by Mahendranath Gupta in Bengali, titled Sri Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, and it has been translated into English by Swami Nikhilanand. So we have been reading. We are in the chapter with the devotees at Dakshineswar, part 1, page 239. Sunday, June 10th, 1883. The master was sitting in his room with Rakhal, M, Latu, Kishori, Ramlal, Hazra, and other devotees. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning. Describing his early life, Sri Ramakrishna said to them, "During my younger days, the men and women of Kamarpukur were equally fond of me. They loved to hear me sing. I could imitate other people's gestures and conversation, and I used to entertain them that way. The women would put aside things for me to eat. No one distrusted me. Everybody took me in as one of the family. But I was like a happy pigeon. I used to frequent only happy families. I would run away from a place where I saw misery and suffering. One or two young boys of the village were my close friends. I was very intimate with some of them, but now they are totally immersed in worldliness. A few of them visit me here now and then and say, 'Goodness, he seems to be just the same as he was in the village school.' While I was at school, arithmetic would throw me into confusion, but I could paint very well and could also model small images of the deities. I loved to visit the free eating places maintained for holy men and the poor and would watch them for hours. I loved to hear the reading of sacred books such as the Ramayana and Bhagavata. If the readers had any affectations, I could easily imitate them and would entertain others with my mimicry. I understood the behavior of women very well and imitated their words and intonations. I could easily recognize immoral women. Immoral widows part their hair in the middle and perform their toilet with great care. They have very little modesty. The way they sit is so different. But let's not talk of worldly things anymore." The master asked Ramlal to sing. Ramlal sang, "Who is this terrible woman, dark as the sky at midnight? Who is this woman dancing over the field of battle like a blue lotus that floats on a crimson sea of blood? Who is she, clad alone in the infinite for a garment, rolling her three great eyes in frenzy and savage fury? Under the weight of her tread, the earth itself is trembling. Shiva, her mighty husband, who wields the fearful trident, lies like a lifeless corpse beneath her conquering feet." The next song described the grief of Mandodari at the death of her husband Ravana. As he listened to it, The master shed tears of sorrow and said, once, when I entered the pine grove over there, I heard the boatmen on the Ganges singing that song and wept bitterly for a long time. I had to be brought back to my room. Ramlal sang about the love of the gopis for Sri Krishna. Akrura was about to drive Sri Krishna in a chariot from Vrindavan to Mathura. The gopis would not let him go. Some held the wheels of the chariot, some lay down in front of it. They blamed Akrura, not knowing that Sri Krishna was leaving them of his own will. Akrura was explaining this to the gopis. Ramlal sang, hold not the chariot's wheels. Is it the wheels that make it move? The mover of its wheels is Krishna, by whose will the worlds are moved. About the gopis, the master said, what deep love, what ecstatic devotion they had for Krishna. Radha painted the picture of Sri Krishna with her own hand, but did not paint his legs, lest he should run away to Mathura. I used to sing these songs very often during my boyhood. I could reproduce the whole drama from memory. After his meal, Sri Ramakrishna sat on the couch. He had not yet found time to rest. The devotees began to assemble. One party arrived from Manirampur and another from Belgoria. Some of the devotees said, we have disturbed your rest, Master. Oh no, what you say applies only to a Rajasic man. About him, people say, now he will enjoy his sleep. The devotees from Manirampur asked the Master how to realize God. Master, you must practice spiritual discipline a little. It will not do simply to say that milk contains butter. You must let the milk set into curd and then churn it. Only then can you get butter from it. Spiritual aspirants must go into solitude now and then. After acquiring love of God in solitude, they may live in the world. If one is wearing a pair of shoes, one can easily walk over thorns. The most important thing is faith. As is a man's meditation, so is his feeling of love. As is a man's feeling of love, so is his gain. And faith is the root of all. If one has faith, one has nothing to fear. A devotee. Sir, is it necessary to have a guru? Master. Yes, many need a guru, but a man must have faith in the guru's words. He succeeds in spiritual life by looking on his guru as God himself. Therefore, the Vaishnavas speak of Guru, Krishna, and Vaishnava. The master meant that the Guru, Krishna, and the Vaishnava were to be equally revered. One should honor the Vaishnava because God dwells in his heart. One should constantly repeat the name of God. The name of God is highly effective in the Kali Yuga. The practice of yoga is not possible in this age, for the life of a man depends on food. Clap your hands while repeating God's name, and the birds of your sin will fly away. One should always seek the company of holy men. The nearer you approach the Ganges, the cooler the breeze will feel. Again, the nearer you go to a fire, the hotter the air will feel. But one cannot achieve anything through laziness and procrastination. People who desire worldly enjoyment say about spiritual progress, well, it will all happen in time. We shall realize God some time or other. I said to Keshav Sen, when a father sees that his son has become restless for his inheritance, He gives him his share of the property even 3 years before the legal time. A mother keeps on cooking while the baby is in bed, sucking its toy. But when it throws the toy away and cries for her, she puts down the rice pot and takes the baby in her arms and nurses it. I said all this to Keshav. It is said that in the Kali Yuga, if a man can weep for God one day and one night, he sees him. Feel piqued at God and say to him, "You have created me. Now you must reveal yourself to me. Whether you live in the world or elsewhere, always fix your mind on God. The mind soaked in worldliness may be compared to a wet matchstick. You won't get a spark, however much you may rub it. Ekalavya placed the clay image of Drona, his teacher, in front of him and thus learnt archery. This story is in the Mahabharata. Drona refused to teach Ekalavya another archery because the latter belonged to a low caste. Thereupon, Ekalavya went to the forest and practiced archery before the clay image of Drona, whom he regarded as his teacher. In course of time, he became an expert archer. When Drona discovered that he excelled even Arjuna, Drona's most beloved disciple, in this art, he asked Ekalavya to give him his thumb as a teacher's fee. By carrying out this order, Ekalavya demonstrated his spirit of self-sacrifice and also his love for his teacher. Go forward. The woodcutter, following the instructions of the holy man, went forward and found in the forest sandalwood and mines of silver and gold. And going still farther, he found diamonds and other precious stones. The ignorant are like people living in a house with clay walls. There is very little light inside, and they cannot see outside at all. But those who enter the world after attaining the knowledge of God are like people living in a house made of glass. For them, both inside and outside are light. They can see things outside as well as inside. Nothing exists except the One. That One is the Supreme Brahman. So long as He keeps the eye in us, He reveals to us that it is He who, as the primal energy, creates, preserves, and destroys the universe. That which is Brahman is also the primal energy. Once a king asked a yogi to impart knowledge to him in one word. The yogi said, "All right, you will get knowledge in one word." After a while, a magician came to the king. The king saw the magician moving two of his fingers rapidly and heard him exclaim, "Behold, O king, behold." The king looked at him amazed, when after a few minutes he saw the two fingers becoming one. The magician moved that one finger rapidly and said, "Behold, O king, behold." The implication of the story is that Brahman and the primal energy at first appear to be two, but after attaining the knowledge of Brahman, one does not see the two. Then there is no differentiation. It is one without a second, Advaita, non duality. So, dear devotees and friends, welcome to the 59th week of the readings and reflections on the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's passage comes from the diary of Mahendranath Gupta. It was dated as Sunday, June 10th, 1883. So he depicts how the master was seated in the Dakshineswar with the devotees in his room. Who were there with him? Rakhal, Yam, Latu, Kishori, Ramlal, Hazra, and other devotees. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning. So, Master was talking to them about his early life, how beautifully he recounted some of the incidents that happened in his early time in Kamarpukur. He says, in his younger days in Kamarpukur, he used to go about everywhere, he used to run about like any other child of the village. And he used to go like that. And he says, men and women of Kamarpukur were equally fond of me. It's a great thing, If somebody, a simple, a pujari who was staying in Kamarpukur village, his father, Khudiram Chattopadhyay, he was known as a good man, a very sattvic man, and very truthful man, because he was even told by the zamindar of the previous village where he was staying. That was, the village name is Dere. If you go to Kamarpukur, you must visit this Dere village also. This was the village where Sri Ramakrishna's father used to stay. And during that time, he has gained so much respect from the people around him because he was absolutely a truthful person. And the zamindar got into some case, and he came and asked him, "Sir, please come to the court tomorrow and tell a lie in favor of me so that I am not caught by the judge." The magistrate is there. He's going to inquire. If you come and tell something about me, he will agree because you are known to be a truthful person. Then Khudiram asked the zamindar, "How can I tell a lie? You are coming to me, asking me a favor, thinking that I am a truthful person, and you are asking me to tell a lie? It is not possible. I cannot tell a lie." And the zamindar got angry. "I will make you leave this village. Let me see where you go." Like that, he threatened him. This happens always in the villages. Some type of, mafias will be there always in every place. And this zamindar threatened him and made him leave the place with a few packets made into small bundles. He took his wife, and his first son Ram Kumar was there, and he walked away from that village. And when he came to Kamarpukur, walking, he met his friend there. The friend said, "Oh, I'm very sorry to hear all these details. Don't worry. I will give you a small place, a land I will give you. You stay there. Make a house there and stay there." And that's how that wonderful, truthful man, Khudiram Chattopadhyay, came to Kamarpukur. Because the truthfulness brought him to a village where the great incarnation of the modern times is going to come. A village has to be ready. What type of village? A beautiful village, Kamarpukur. And that Kamarpukur was, whether men or women, whoever met the small Gadai, as he was to be dearly called by all the people, that Gadai, it's a very beautiful name, small name. You can call him very lovingly. "Where is Gadai? Oh, Gadai, where are you? Why are you running like that?" Like that, people would call him and then come around. And men and women both were so dear. And he became so dear to everybody. You can just imagine how Sri Krishna grew up in Vrindavan. When he came to Vrindavan, as a baby, he was brought by his father to Nandagopal's place. And in Nandagopal's place, he was growing up with Yashoda Ma. And not only Yashoda had great love for this boy, thinking that he is her son only, but then all the people, they are all milkmaids and milk sellers. So they are called Gopas. and the ladies were called gopis. So these gopas and gopis, whatever be the age, it doesn't matter. A man of 10 year, a boy of 10-year-old or a man of 60-year-old, he's still called gopa only. And a lady also, a girl of 10-year-old or a 60-year-old lady, she is called gopi. So these gopas and gopis were so fond of Sri Krishna, and he had the license to go to anybody's house. Sri Ramakrishna had that license to go to anybody's house. He could straight away enter into the house. In those days, the women had antapura, that is inside chamber, where the men cannot just enter. But though he was growing up, even at his age of 16, Sri Ramakrishna, that Gadai, could go to any house inside, and he could sit with the ladies and talk to them. And the women would never feel, here is a man sitting in front of us. They would speak as if a girl is sitting with them. When all the girls are there separately, their talk will be somewhat different. When men are there, that will be different. So they're free, nothing to hide among the women folk. So they would speak all those village terms, and they will use those village terms, and they would have all the dramatic way of telling those items, the gossip. And Gadai used to listen, and he will come out and he knows how to mimicry. That is one of the great art he had. Of course, he was put into school. He had some school friends also. Those boys also became very close to him. But then he did not like mathematics. So he left the reading of the school after third class or so. So mathematics he didn't like. Why? It requires a lot of calculation. Spiritual people are very less calculative. In mathematics, what happens? From 0 to 9, numbers come. So that when the numbers come, you calculate. It's addition, multiplication. So like that. So that multiplication, etc., he didn't like. He said, no, this mathematics doesn't come. I feel that Sri Ramakrishna in that even age, young age, he had the fond of infinity, where numbers do not exist, where numbers lose their existence, that means their individuality. Infinite. And his mind used to go into infinite. He would look at the Akasha, the sky, and the blue sky is coming. And the sky is about to rain now. Rain clouds. And then the moment he sees, he thinks of Sri Krishna. Goes into infinity. Swami Vivekananda, when he came to Chennai, so many people came and met him. And one young boy was there. And there was a Krishna's image was there, blue Krishna's image. So the boy was talking to Swamiji, and Swamiji asked this boy, can you tell me why Krishna is depicted blue? And the boy told correctly. He said, the ocean is blue because it is so vast. Sky is blue because it is vast. So blue represents infinity. Swamiji was so happy. And that person was later who became the first Governor General of India, before the independence of India. And he was C. Rajagopalachari, very lovingly called as Rajaji. So he wrote two important books, one on Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana book became so famous. It went into several editions. And it was so beautifully he wrote in English based on the Valmiki Ramayana. And that book was so famous. In South Africa, we used to ask, that was a textbook for our devotees who would take part in the Hinduism classes. So we have children classes and we had elders classes also. So the elder classes, that was the textbook. So one day I asked one gentleman, elderly person, I asked him, who wrote Ramayana? Pat came the reply. He said, C. Rajagopalachari. So I understood, yes, C. Rajagopalachari, because he is reading that English book, written by Rajaji. So we find that infinity, When the mind goes into infinity, it has to very hard to bring the mind down below the level where calculation takes place. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna perhaps was not interested in mathematics and he came away. And he's telling how the women would give him sweets to eat and he would, and no one distrusted me. It is not that he would carry tales from one house to another house because he was moving around every house and everyone trusted him. Everybody took me in as one of the family. That is the beauty of this child. You see, Gadai was so wonderful in his childhood days. And what are the other things he is telling? He is telling that some boys who read with him in the school, they also grew up, they got married, and sometimes they used to come to Dakshineswar and meet him. And they would exclaim, "Oh, Gada is like same. How he was there at that time, he is same like this in Dakshineswar also." Like that they would exclaim. And Master would exclaim about them. What he would exclaim? He says, "Goodness, but now they are totally immersed in worldliness." Sri Ramakrishna could see them. They are immersed in worldliness. And that's how Sri Ramakrishna commented upon them. And they said, okay. And then he used to visit that Bhandar, that is the eating place where the visiting holy men, the sadhus to Kamarpukur, they used to have their lunch or dinner, etc. There he would go and sit with them and talk to and look at the sadhus, how they are talking among themselves. That's how Sri Ramakrishna learned Hindi also. He could speak Hindi. The sadhus who are coming from Uttarakhand, they used to talk to him in Hindi. And Sri Ramakrishna learned little Hindi to speak, conversational Hindi he could manage. So he used to sit with them and lots of stories he would hear. And the sadhus sometimes would tell about from the scriptures. That's why you see many of the Ramayana incidents Ramakrishna says, you may not find in the official Ramayana of Valmiki. But then the sadhus would talk about that. They are folklore, as we call it. In folklore, the sadhus are wandering sadhus, They used to go from one village to another village and beg alms. And then they would eat for 3 days, or 3 nights they would stay and then go around. So they would carry and they would hear from different people at different traditions, how they say about Ramayana. And those things they will converse now. When they meet together and they say, "Oh, I went to Ujjain, I heard this story." One fellow will say that, "Oh, I went to Bhopal, I heard this story." Like that, people will converse and they would, exchange ideas like that. All those things Ramakrishna would hear. And later in his teachings, you find those teachings. So he would go there. And he had the love to hear the scriptures, especially Ramayana, Mahabharata, particularly Bhagavata. Bhagavata was very dear to him. And he used to talk about Krishna and Radha's extreme love for Sri Krishna. All those things, you can find in Bhagavata. So he would love to get this. And those readers of these great scriptures, if they had any affectations, meaning that they have got some unique way of telling. When I speak, I use a lot of gestures by my hands. So some people have commented also, "Maharaj, you are showing a lot of gestures." So sometimes I keep my hands below the camera level, so that you don't see sometimes. But then if I hold my hands straight like that, I will not be able to speak. So that is the problem. So it's called affectation. So there are affectation in pronunciation, in gestures, in making so many items also. Some people have, keep their fingers on the head. Sometimes I just take it here and then rub on the eyebrows. This is affectation, physical gesture. So all these things unique to each person. So everyone has got something. Those things are copied by Sri Ramakrishna, by Gadai. So Gadai used to find out they're very amusing to him. And he will come and say, "Oh, such and such speaker, on that day, he used to make such." So this mimicry was a great entertainment for all the others. And one of the things he understood by being so free with the villagers was the behavior of women. So he narrates how the immoral women, they are also there in the village, they have to be. And so you find them. So he has gone and seen them also and how they behave. They also love Sri Ramakrishna, this Gadai boy. So he has recognized them. He could recognize very easily their way of sitting, their way of getting up. After telling this, immediately he changes the subject. How he changes? But let's not talk of worldly things anymore. See, he was going into a mood of reminiscences. He was narrating how in his younger days, things were going on. And when this point came, he stopped. No more. Now he's asking Ramlal. Ramlal was sitting there. Ramlal, sing a song. So Ramlal sang a beautiful song on Mother Kali. I'll come to it a little later if we have some time. So, and he sang 3 songs. One song was on Mother Kali. Second song was very, a song that brings you great pathos. Because Ravana is dead and Mandodari comes to the battlefield and she just goes there and then touches Ravana's body and weeps and cries. And her wailing at that time, tremendous. And that song depicts that particular scene. And hearing this, Ramakrishna goes into great emotional turmoil in his mind. And he also weeps. However, he says, I used to go for my toilet purpose. And then while coming back, I saw the boatman sitting in the boat. He was singing the same song what Ramlal was singing on that day. And listening to the boatman singing, I shed tears and tears, and I didn't know what I was doing. And people had to come and hold me and take me to my room. Such was the emotional bonding with that song. And third song he sang, and Ramlal sang the third song he sang about gopis. So he says about Sri Krishna, Akrura. Akrur is one of the names you find in Bhagavatam. His name comes, and he is said to be a distant relative of Sri Krishna. When Devaki sent the baby Krishna to Yashoda through Vasudev, and all these things were happening this side, and there in Mathura, this boy Akrur also was growing up. He was listening from his parents that Lord Narayana is going to take an avatar now. He is going to come to this earth as an avatar and he is going to kill, he's put an end to the life of Kans. That is what the parents used to talk. So from that young age, Akrur was thinking, I must see this Narayana. Where is he? He had great love for Narayana. This Purtasi month is a great month. We have been worshipping Lord Narayana every day. Recently, I had even Vishnu Sahasranama. It is a very beautiful stotra. Comes in Mahabharata. But there is another one, Vallabhacharya was there. He wrote a Sahasranama. Actually, he wrote Bhagavatam according to Skanda. 12 Skandas were there in Bhagavatam. Exactly, he wrote 1, 1, 2, 3 like that. So certain verses I heard it fully and I was really thrilled. Beautiful Sanskrit verses they were. So, and this month itself, Purtasi month itself, very good for the worship of Lord Narayana. So Vishnu is being propitiated in this month. So Akrura was a great devotee of Narayana. And he used to tell his parents, where is Narayana? I must meet him. You see, that desire to meet Narayana was growing in his mind, in his heart, as he was also physically growing up. Now today, he is a 50-year-old man. I didn't know the age. In one of the lectures in Sai Baba, he says, Akrura was 50 years of age when he met Krishna. Krishna was a young boy of a 16-year-old, a 50-year-old man. What was his profession? He was recruited by Kans as one of the mantris. And he had given him some important governmental work. Akrura used to do that work. And he was paid for that. So he was an employee of the government of Kans. And he was so true to the government treasury, he had never stolen any money. Akrura was so famous for his honesty. And Kans believed in his honesty. He will not go against Kans. That he knew. But then, that because of his honesty, one day he called Akrur. Akrur, I am going to give you a special work. Can you please go to Vrindavan and bring Krishna and Balaram to this place, to our place, Mathura? And Kans, he may be a very bad man, a roguish type. But then he was also innocent. He could tell all his plan to Akrur, thinking Akrur, if he knows, it is better for him. So he told Akrur, you see, I am calling these two boys from Vrindavan because I have a doubt that the Lord Narayana, who was to come as a young boy to kill me, I searched everywhere and nowhere I could find the boy. And I feel this boy, this Krishna must be that boy. I have a suspicion. So I want to bring him here. And my plan is to conduct a Dhanur Yaga, that is a sacrifice for worship of a bow. In those days, the kings used to make a bow. And the bow is very hard bow they would make. And they would make also in Ramayana also we find how that Shiva Dhanush was there. And whoever takes it and ties the string, to him I will give my daughter. That's what Janaka announced. So likewise, this is everywhere the kings used to do. If you want to make any function, so you make that. And even wrestling was there on that day. And singing was there, dancing was there. So many programs were there the whole day. So I want to make it a big festival like and call these two boys. Then they will come. So Akrur was very pleased. Why? All these days he was thinking of Narayana and he was thinking in his mind, my parents are telling that boy who is the son of Nanda Gopal and Yashodama, that boy Krishna is Narayana himself. So parents are telling him. And some of the aged people in the village in Mathura, they are also suspecting, yes, that boy must be. Why? Because Kans sent so many types of demons. But everyone was defeated by Krishna, the small boy. The small boy sent away everyone. He killed many of them. So he sent back some of them. So, and when they came back, they told Kans, look, Kans, king, it is not possible to win this boy. Anyway, he is something divine in him. We do not know what is he. From that time onwards, Kans started imagining that Narayana is this Krishna. So not only he, most of the people were thinking, and they were all eager to see Krishna, but they could not go to Vrindavan and see. A few from Mathura, a few business people only used to go there. Suddenly, when Kans called Akrura and asked him, what a beautiful name is he? Akrura. In Sanskrit, Krura. Krura means Krurata. One who has got Krurata is called Krura. Krura means what? A cruel man. A cruel temperament. That means he doesn't have any sympathy. If he wants to do anything, he will just do it, come what may. Cruel person. Heart is cruel, we say. So, akrura means the absence of that cruelty. So, this person, according to his name, exactly like that. Namakarana, as they say, the names are given to people according to their nature. I have seen some of the Swamis, One Swami was there, Swami Prema Rupananda. Oh, what a wonderful man. Under him only I joined in Kanpur Center. That Swami name was Prema Rupananda. Exactly as if the prema, the love, has been personified in his form. He was so loving to everybody, not only to me as the brahmachari, new brahmachari, but to everyone. And the devotees who used to think of him, they would even today, that old devotees, they say, oh, what a wonderful Swami he was. Full of love and affection. Prema Rupananda, according to the name. So like that, Akrura was such, he had no cruelty. Now in yoga, it is said, if your mind is free from cruelty, even a tiger comes before you, it will be quite at peace with you. That is the beauty of this particular quality. So Akrura, when he was told by Kansa, you go with a chariot and bring these boys for this function, and I want to kill them. You see, they are young boys, only 16-year-old, and we have got muscle men, people are there, like Chanur, who can fight with Chanur. And I will tell these boys, laughingly, can you fight with Chanur? And Chanur will kill him. Finished. Akrura came to know this, and he said, he agreed to go. Why? Not interested that way to see the killing of Krishna. He was interested to see Narayana now. He was so happy. I was thinking about Narayana all these days, and now the time has come. You see, that's why you have to pray and pray and pray. Getting Guru also is like that. Just like that, Guru doesn't come to you. That desire must come in your heart, and it has to come again and again. You must nourish, cherish the desire. Slowly, slowly, it will come to a particular level where Guru appears in front of you. You'll be stunned how it happens, because you have nourished the desire long back, and Akrura was nourishing that, and he took the chariot and went all the way. Now from Mathura to Vrindavan, it's only about less than 13 kilometers. So he took the chariot, and the charioteer also was there, and he is sitting there. What he's thinking, you'll be surprised. Bhagavatam says, continuously from the time he got into the chariot till he got down at Vrindavan, his mind was filled with the thought of Sri Krishna and nothing else. Trees are passing by, mountains are passing by, rivers are coming, small rivers are there. But his eyes never felt anything outside. He was as if in samadhi, thinking of Sri Krishna. And then Vrindavan came. The charioteer told, Vrindavan has come. Then he saw in the sands of Yamuna. And there were several children's footprints were there, footmarks were there. How Bhagavatam beautifully explains this episode, And he jumps out of the chariot on the hot sand. And he looks here and there. And he could detect which footprint is Sri Krishna's. Do you know the difference between Krishna's footprint and the other Gopas and Gopis' footprints? The other Gopas and Gopis' footprints are like ours only. But Krishna's footprint is completely different. On his soul, that is down below the soul, there are 5 marks are there. Flag is there. Chakra is there. 5 marks. Gada is there. And lotus is there. And eye is there. So 5 marks are there. Then, seeing that 5 marks in the sand, imprinted, Akrura falls, jumps over that footmarks and rolls over it and crying, oh Krishna, what a wonderful blessing that you have given me. I am able to touch your footmark. And now within short time, I am going to see you with my eyes. And if you allow, then I will touch your feet and hold your feet and shed tears. That is how Akrura is telling. And he was rolling over that sand. And then they come to Krishna's house. When he gets down to Krishna's house and goes, and Yashoda and Nanda Babu both are there, Nandalal says, "Hey Akrur, from the government officially is, you come. So he is welcomed very nicely. But Akrur was here and there, is looking. Where is that Krishna? Where is that Krishna? He has entered there. He has been seated well. He's a government servant, you see. He has to be taken care of. And Nanda is also one of the person who is giving rent, etc. to so the government servant has come, and he knows Akrura also. And then he says, Akrura asks, "Where is Krishna?" Then Nanda says, Krishna and Balaram, along with the other boys of the village, they have taken the cows for grazing. By evening time, they will come. Please wait. By the time I will give you food, etc. Take food here and wait. Then what is the purpose of your visit? I have paid all the rates, etc. Said, no, I have not come to collect all those things. I have come to collect Krishna himself. Hearing that, Yashoda is stunned. She says, what? You will take away our Krishna to Mathura? For that you have come. You remember in Ramayana, such things happened. The same thing, Vishwamitra comes and asks for Rama and Lakshmana to Dasharatha. Dasharatha was so attached to Ram. He says, my young boy, only 16-year-old boy, you want him to take you to take the forest. And you say the purpose is to kill the Asuras. The great Rakshasas are there in the forest. They are disturbing your yajnas. And you want this boy to kill. He's not even 16. How can you send this boy with you? What foolishness you are asking. So he did not want to give. The same case here. Yashoda says, no, I don't want to give my child. He's a young boy. And we know Kansa is how cruel is he. He has sent so many demons here to kill my son. How can I send him to him? No. She says no. And Nanda is looking what to say to him. To say no or yes. But in the meantime, Akrura was such a wonderful person. He explained everything in toto. What Kansa told him, everything he said. And he told Yashoda, Maya, don't underestimate Krishna. He may be a balaka, he may be a child, but then his powers are infinite. Lord Narayana has come in this form. Do you think anybody can make any harm to Krishna? Don't ever think that any harm will come upon this child. I am there, and he is God himself. So he knows what to do and what, etc. So you allow him to go. Not only he and Balaram will definitely, I am taking in my chariot. And you all arrange your chariots. You all come and call some of the villagers. So Nanda announces to the villagers that we are going tomorrow morning. So all of you, whoever interested to come for that function that is arranged by Kansa, our king has arranged. So let us go for and see the function. So a big group came. But then only elders. They said, we shall go. So they arranged their own chariots and then they all started going in the morning. And that was the time Krishna and Balaram got into the chariot. That was a terrible thing. So the song is revolving around this theme that when Krishna and Balaram got into the chariot, what happened to the village people? There are many elders who could not go. Only a few selected persons are going now. What about the others? What about the gopis and gopas who are friends to Sri Krishna? Youngsters were not taken. Their mothers did not allow them. And these gopas and gopis come there. Some of the gopis went and lied down before the chariot wheels. And some of them are holding Krishna's hand and pulling him down from the chariot. It's a beautiful description of how the people were not allowing. And then Ramlal is singing the song. The song says, and Akrura is telling to gopis, hold not the chariot's wheels. Some people are holding the wheels. He says, hold not. Is it the wheels that make it move? Oh gopis, do you think the wheel, if it runs, then the chariot will go? You think like that? No. The mover of its wheels is Krishna, by whose will the worlds move. It is not one world, two worlds. There are multiple worlds. Multi-universes are there. All these universes are moving. Nothing is stationary in this universe. Mind you, neither our bhumi, that is the earth, is stationary, nor the moon, nor the sun. And infinite number of planets are there. Infinite number of stars are there. Nothing is stationary in this world. All of them are moving. By whose will they are moving? By Krishna's will they are moving. So you think that by holding the chariot wheels, you think you can stop? If Krishna wants to go, who can stop? And he makes such a wonderful plea to the gopis and gopas, and they are all not wholeheartedly, but disheartedly they allow. Because they have to go. And the wheels move now. Krishna says, start. The charioteer is sitting in the back, and Akrura goes. He says, I will now run the chariot. He becomes a driver. And then it goes on. On the way, near the Yamuna river, that it becomes evening, because only after afternoon they left, and it becomes evening. So the sun is setting. Akrura says, let me go and to the Yamuna, take a bath, take a dip there, and I will do my Sandhya Vandanam. I will do my evening worship. So don't go anywhere. Krishna and Balaram, sit here. And telling them, Akrura goes into the river and he takes a dip. And when he took a dip inside, he was stunned to see Krishna and Balaram there in the waters. He thinks, I told these boys to sit there in the chariot. So before me, they came here. And they are also taking a dip here. And then he comes out of the water and looks there, the chariot, both the boys are sitting. So again he takes a dip. He could not understand. What is this? I am seeing there, they are sitting in the chariot. They cannot come like that. They cannot jump like that. It is some distance is there. But I am able to see them. Again he gets up and he sees them sitting there. And third time, when he goes inside, because his mind is filled with the Lord Narayana, and he wanted to see, today he has seen Krishna in the form of Krishna. And there, in the waters of Yamuna, Lord Narayana comes. It's a beautiful Lord Narayana, and he is in the Shayana form. Shayana forms, he is just slanting. On whom? On Adisesha. So that Adisesha, 1,000-hooded snake, and in that Lord Narayana is reclining. One foot is up and one foot is straight. And he's reclining and he's showing to Akrura. Akrura sees that. Immediately a prayer comes. He says, oh, cause of the all causes. He says, Karana Hetu. Everything, whatever is there in the universe you see, it must have a cause. What is that original cause? And that is God. So in theistic way, we say that is God. That is called Supreme Brahman. In Vedanta, we call it Supreme Brahman. That Brahman is the original cause. And from that original cause, all the things have come out. So that original cause, you are that original cause, he is praying. And when Akrura is praying, 30 verses are there in Bhagavatam. You must read it for interesting, because how he prays to Lord Krishna. And actually Lord Narayana is praying. And this boy. And then he saw Adisesha. Adisesha is Balaram. Adisesha came as Balaram. So he knew now who is Krishna, who is Balaram. without any doubt. All his doubts are gone because he had darshan of the Lord. When God appears before you and gives you darshan, can any doubt remain in your mind? No doubt can remain. You are absolutely sure now. And then after his prayers, he comes up and comes to the chariot and he takes them. And of course, the story goes on like that. But what I want to tell you here is that Sri Ramakrishna is extremely moved by that gopis stopping the chariot. What an emotion it was. Can you imagine? If your loved person is leaving that place and going to a far off place, how much your hearts will, cry. And that is what happened. A person all these days you are seeing nearest to you, are we not experiencing in our own mundane life? See the parents, the child grows up, all the 22 years, the child stays with the parents, and he gets a scholarship in Fulbright scholarship in America. One boy got in Ranchi, and the parents came to me and shed tears. Maharaj, he has got Fulbright scholarship, and such a wonderful scholarship. He has got one of the prized scholarship in the world. And we have to leave him now for America. We cannot go with him to America and stay there. And they are in tears. And it was my duty to explain to them and console them. It's not that they don't know that, but we had to console, use certain words. So you see, even our own son going away, knowing well that he is there, how much painful it is, to leave a departing known relation, a blood relation, is extremely difficult. And you can understand people going away and going to different long distant places where you cannot see also. Some people tell me, in Ranchi, even now they say, Maharaj, if you are in India, at least we can go once in a year to somewhere, any place in India, we can go and see you. But you are far away, far off in Ireland and South Africa and Singapore. How can we go? Like that they ask. Yes, it is true. Because that emotion is what Sri Ramakrishna is experiencing, and he is in tears now. And such is a wonderful way Sri Ramakrishna has told about his that younger days. And now in today time also, you can see he's telling Ramlal, you sing the song. And how wonderful. In the meantime, other groups started coming and they came and then they started asking Sri Ramakrishna that how to realize God. And a very beautiful answer he gave. I would not go into details of that. You please read that text. You will know what it is. And so simple way, Sri Ramakrishna explained to them that why, in what way they can realize God. And then he says, call to him, say to him, you have created me. This sentence I like very much. Now you must reveal yourself to me. See, you can talk to God. You can tell God, yes, you have created me, is it not? And now you are hiding from me. Tell me who you are. Reveal thyself to me. So that is the strong image. And then it talks about other things also. And then finally, in the passage that we find, he speaks of the one without a second. There is no differentiation. Advaita, the non-duality. He speaks of that. What a beautiful way the gospel gives us certain religious ideas and spiritual ideas for our life. Let us proceed further next week by His grace. Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampadrita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.